welcome to Midnight Mass. I don't know if my microphone is recording this. This is like really kind of blurry, but wow. It's good. It's better this way. It's for, you know, the dark midnight mass, the fun stuff. What keeps you guys up at night? You can tell me, it's fine. I'll take my glasses off. I'll be less confrontational. That's fascinating. Yeah, no, I didn't sleep for like 3 years in Chicago when I lived in River North. Yeah, I didn't sleep for like 3 years. I had a boyfriend and we had to wear earplugs. I'm serious. Anyway, well, that's how you would know if the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. You just hear it. Nuts. So, the fun, you know, everybody likes to talk about this. Cycles of abuse, trauma, and healing, and the generational cycles and patterns. So, you know, at one point, everybody is a child, okay? And when you're a child, usually, hopefully, there's like parents. Hopefully, there's two. It's like, well, there kind of need to be two, but. Anyways, sometimes there's one, okay? That's difficult. I never said it wasn't difficult. I think, as we said before, Teal Swan can just take over the convo from there. Anyways, so what does that mean? Generational trauma. What is that? Why should I do that? Well, if you do that, then not only do you heal yourself, but you heal your bloodline 7 generations back and 7 forward. Oh, shit. Anyways, you want to do that. So how do you do that? Well, you can start. One way to start is by cutting etheric cords with like Archangel Michael. That's a good one. You can Google that. Maybe I'll put some like links in the show notes for how to do that. You can say like, I cut like all etheric cords to all people, places, things, times, realities, dimensions. I recall all of my energy back to me and my power back to me. That's like soul retrieval. If you felt like you've kind of splintered and fractured off, like people just took parts of you and you're just like, no, you want to get that back. So you can do that way. If like alcohol or like in the 70s and stuff, there's a lot of stuff going on the streets. If that comes into play, that's another thing where it's kind of like, wow. Also kind of a cycle. I went to Peru for that, so let's do that. Yeah. Cause in the city, everybody pretty much drinks. I think now more people are like sober curious, But I think that people are still drinking. Obviously, everybody's making like a liquor line. So another thing that you can do is, when you have to heal your inner child, okay, that comes into play. Usually people recommend like subconscious reprogramming. So what does that mean? I mean, there's like guided meditations you can do. Lacey Phillip, to be magnetic, she has a lot of stuff. I did some of her stuff, and like hypnotherapy. Actually, I went to a hypnotherapist too. I went all the way back to when I was like 2 years old. Wilson Phillips plays into that. I would like always sing Wilson Phillips. I'd always hold the remote and then I'd walk around with a tissue. So that was, Delaware in like the 90s and like 92 or whatever. So another thing, if you can kind of take a step back and look at your family's history of what's been going on. I'm adopted, so it's a different thing. But if you can kind of look at that, and then you could do Ho'oponopono on that, which is what Hawaiian healing. I didn't say that like correctly, I'm sure. Um, Ho'oponopono. I don't know, Ho'oponopono. I don't know. No, I didn't spell that right. Anyways, it's like 4 sentences. I can do like a link to a meditation. So actually, like a psychiatrist, I believe, for a prison did this for all the prisoners, and he would just like say this and look at the pictures. So it was like distant healing, and then that place was like the most violent, and then it became the most peaceful. So you just say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you can do that to like yourself or like situations or anything, and that helps alchemize the energy. And then you can also do your own little energy clearing practices where you just, return any energy back to sender that isn't yours. And then you visualize like a white and gold light, like an orb around you. And then just imagine all the negativity like leaving your body, like through your feet or through your crown, and then having that kind of alchemize outward, and then you detoxify and like purify your energetic system. That's a good like everyday thing. I mean, you can do that. Some people do that. They do the etheric cord cutting, and then they do like a white and gold like orb or light protection daily. That would be a good like thing to add to your morning ritual probably, and then also nighttime. Um, I think a lot of it has to do with like guilt and shame, and then if you look at like if there's religious factors or like socioeconomic stuff, you know what I mean? Because it's like you carry that with you until you release that. So it's like making the unconscious or subconscious conscious. So then you can, heal that and let that go, and then you can like move on more. So it's like clearing space in your energetic body and your field in your life so that you can have space to call like new and better and higher frequency things and people in. So it's also part of like manifesting, usually is like space clearing. And that's not just literally or physically like decluttering your closet. It's also, emotionally, mentally, energetically, like clearing that space or blockages out. Um, I think that, yeah, it's not really something most people are like, oh, let me do that. You know what I mean? Like, but I had to do that ancestral work, and then that's how I started like channeling and being like a medium. And then I've done that for other people too with their like relatives, like random people, like random people, like super, like totally out of the blue. And then we have like an hour-long conversation about them and their family and blah blah. You know what I mean? It's like I think that's why I also think that like ancestors will kind of like pair or match people, or they'll be like, copacetic. Because I think a lot of people's ancestors bring them to me, and then I also attract like a lot of like lost souls. So that's kind of what I'm supposed to be doing, is like giving guidance to lost souls to help them find themselves and their soul. So that is like a big part of also the, breaking generational curses or chains, which can be mindsets or ways of handling life or approaching things, like integrating new ways of doing things or thinking or being, not necessarily just, repeating the cycle or doing the same thing over and over again, like breaking the repetition. And then you'll feel like lighter and brighter. But I'm sure there'll be, like emotional clearing, which is good because that's making space. That's also how you make space, is like you let go of all of those repressed emotions. And then also generational trauma kind of, it's like inherited as well. Um, so I would also recommend The Violet Flame, Saint Germain and The Violet Flame. My Reiki master gave me like a ebook on that. I would encourage independent research. I'll also like leave a link to that book, or at least the title and the author, so you can find it. I think there's like a free version online. But anyways, working with the Violet Flame, that like will help alchemize everything. You know what I mean? So that's purple. That's Saint Germain. He watches over America. Um, yeah, that's definitely a major one. I think that it's like something that's like, not like uncomfortable to talk about because it's very like sensitive and personal and emotional. Um, but I mean that it's like there needs to be outlets for it, especially like in Florida. I mean Jerry Springer, like all the shows are all like aren't on there anymore. Like Jerry Springer, um, Ricky Lake, Oprah's off. Is Judge Judy off? I think. What was her name? Like Sarah Jesse Raphael or something like that. I don't know. I'm like, whoa, now what? Because also Dr. Phil is off too. So I don't know. Um, but a lot of their shows were filmed in Chicago too, so that's interesting. But yeah, I think the more that you can ease into the process is probably the best approach, because it's like, where do you start? What do you do? I do have a free ebook on my website about New Paradigm MDT healing and then like generational healing. And art is a good way to, express or like have like a creative outlet, you know what I mean, and express yourself. It doesn't have to be painting, it can be whatever. But yeah, I think that's kind of like a good way to start that whole conversation. That's kind of like the tip of the iceberg, like in very general terms. But that's kind of the basis of why the inner child healing is important. Because if you don't like heal your inner child, then like that's like the wholeness is your inner child. Because it's like, if you think about it, you're growing, and then it's like, there's like wounds, or there's, what trauma and stuff, and then like it's like, okay, you gotta like get that whole thing, kind of together, which doesn't happen overnight either. So that's another thing. Everybody moves at their own pace. And then also you might like find at the beginning that like it's going really fast, it's going really good, and then like kind of plateaus, and then, you know what I mean? That's fine. That's like divine timing, because you'll need time to like, integrate and embody all those energies. So that's also, giving yourself compassion, self-love. The joy is in the journey. The process is the journey. Don't rush the process. A lot of people have control issues, don't they? Yeah. That's one thing, learning how to surrender. That could be like a new thing to bring into your conscious reality. Always surrender, give it to God. It's out of my control. You know what I mean? Zen. I'm Zen. Because that's the whole Buddhist thing, is like, non-action is actually a valid option, and it doesn't mean like lazy or like bad. It's like the passive, but that's not bad. That's just the opposite of active. Yeah, in the West, it's like, well, this one's better than the other one. In the East, it's like, okay, well, there's yin and yang. There's both of them, and they're both equal because they're the two sides of the spectrum. It's not like one's better than the other. The spectrum isn't based on height, you know? Anyways, um, oh, I brought my sound bowl over here. Let's play this. Let's take a big deep breath in and a deep breath out. Setting the intention to let go of anything that is not serving your highest and best. Creating space in your body, in your energy body, in your aura for high frequency and high vibe opportunities, people, places, things, manifestations to crystallize and come to fruition. Activating your chakras with the unicorns. Thanking the sirens for vibrancy. And asking the fairies to help reignite the spark in our souls and our life now. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen. So I like to, honor everybody and everything, since everything is a creation of God or Jesus, the light aspect or the dark, the upper world or the underworld, Like in ecosystems, the bottom feeders are there for a reason, The vulture, the carrion are also there for a reason. They all have jobs, roles and duties, That's not the glamorous role necessarily, but it's necessary. So, it's not like they're not important in their, path and their unique way as well. Just honoring everybody. Since everybody just competes and fights these days, it's not like fun that way. It's not fun that way. So anyways, I also have some crystals. I have my sodalite. This is the sodalite. It's a blue one. It's like a point. It's blue. It's good for like a mental and spiritual balance and then expansion and harmonizing or synthesizing different energies. I have selenite. I would always recommend putting selenite by your bed. This is like a palm stone, a worry stone. Or no, this isn't worry stones are smaller. A worry stone is smaller and you put your thumb in it. That's a palm stone. So if you have two of those and you meditate, that's good. I have a big amethyst chunk. Third eye, intuition, crown chakra, purple. And then I have an organite. I don't know. It's a pyramid. They say you're supposed to put it by your technology or whatever, and it protects against radiation. Apparently, allegedly, who knows? I don't even remember where I got that or when I got that, but it also has a coil in it. But a lot of people make those. I think they make them with resin. And then I have a piece of fluorite. I got this. I still have the price tag on it, I think. I'm this way. Fluorite is green and purple and clear. I think I got this in Santa Rosa, actually. It's not the bell. It has a little stand. It's cute. So yeah, I'm well, I could read a prayer, I think, if I have enough brightness. But that's basically just kind of starting to open that box. You don't have to get too into it. I know it's heavy and intense stuff. But you can go on my website and find that free workbook. It's under freebies. Or like ebooks, I believe. It's under freebies. Or it's on the homepage. I'm still working on finishing my website, so that's coming. The Patreon, I want to create a free group for this, for Midnight Mass, for our unconditional love church, you know? I'm going to create like a free Patreon group, and then you guys can all go in there and I'll put like stuff in there if you have questions or requests and stuff. We'll see how that goes. I don't like Facebook groups. You know, I've been in so many Facebook groups. That's just my personal opinion. Everybody can think what they want. And then also, yeah, I'm gonna have some new stuff coming, and then the quarterly, the Grapevine, April 24th. That's happening. And then I am writing a book. I don't know if that's gonna be like a Harry Potter trilogy or how that's gonna. It's like a saga. It's like The Legend Before Time. I'm like, don't poison me. You know what I mean? Anyways, I speak life on my life. I speak life on my life. Psalms 91, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's a good thing to say, like, every day. How long has this been? 22 minutes? Oh, 228? That's a good number. Okay, well, you know, I think this is true. When you go to church or mass, nobody really, like, wants it necessarily to be, like, super long, you know what I mean? Like, extra innings in a baseball game, like, nobody, you know what I mean? So I try to like to keep things somewhat succinct-ish while still like having some substance, you know. There's some meat in there for everybody, you know, but don't overwhelm me either, you know, because it's a little overwhelming by nature. So if we can just make the process and environment as a chill and, you know, not pressure, that's probably the best, I think. Um, so yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would like to do some type of like beach thing, but I've had two friends that have done like beach things, and like I don't know if I want to do beach thing. I'm just like, people always come up and talk to me. I'm just like, I feel like if I do a beach thing, it's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's like I would just have to go to the Siesta Key the beach drum circle, and then just hope that I don't see anybody, you know. I've been to that before. I don't remember who I went with. I don't remember which ex it was, but I have been. It's a good time. I mean, there's a lot of people that show up. There's like a lot of people that show up. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that today. So maybe let's just do one Hail Mary or one Om. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? We'll do an Om, okay? 1, 2, 3. Om. Namaste. How do I